Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the TI5 Reject Cast here at Dota Pit Season 3. We are into the playoffs. Our winners bracket finals between Evil Geniuses and Virtus.Pro has gotten underway. We are jumping into game number 2 as we speak, the draft getting going. And of course, I'm joined by my co-rejects, Pimp Muckle doing the observing as well as production, Mott Packs on the stats, myself, Mott, doing the casting, and alongside me as well as Tralf. That first game, we talked about it, Tralf. It was a bit of an experiment, perhaps, for Virtus.Pro. This second game, they got to get something going a little bit better, and they start off with a solid draft here with the Earthshaker as well as Rubik. What do you expect so far as we progress through this thing, Tralf?
I expect maybe a little bit more quote-unquote standard kind of things from Virtus.Pro. Again, it's not like there's anything wrong with Bloodseeker. It's not like there's anything wrong with Silencer. It's just more of, like, I think I've beat this to death, but it's more of they just let him just not get anything. And the same kind of opening, I don't know if this is the same exact opening from Evil Geniuses in this position, but anyway, they're going to have the same lane comp with the Tusknaga Siren, which is extremely strong, so they need to be ready for this, especially now that they're showing it right early in the draft. They have time to maybe draft something to, you know, combat that and to be defensive about it. Or to be defensive against it, I should say. I
think Earthshaker is pretty good against them, although Snowball is something that you can't really deal with Fisher. I think still these heroes are very good in like making sure you could defend and still do an okay job in a tri-lane, so I'm not, you know, sold on it, but we'll see.
I instinctively looking at Rubik Earthshaker opening, I instinctively want to say it's Earthshaker off lane. I'm not sold on the Rubik ES support duo pairing. I just think it's a little awkward. They both have like ways to box out a hero or like move enemy heroes or block them in ways, like with the telekinesis and the Fisher, but they don't do a lot of damage. Fade Bolt's not that great. The damage on the Fisher is okay, but it doesn't come up very frequently, and you're typically using it to block. It's just, I don't know, it just feels like an awkward duo to me. So they might still do it. Razor, okay, that might solve the problem of like where the damage is with this kind of tri-lane. So they definitely have the right idea as far as picking a hero that can combat this lane. I think Razor can do that. We'll see if they're going to still have this Earthshaker as a support or if they're going to run them as off lane. But seeing a Rubik ES is, again, just a tad bit awkward to me. So yeah. We'll see if they do run him in Earthshaker in the off lane.
I like what they're doing in the draft where they say, okay, we're going to focus on the tri-lane first. We're going to ban out Sumail's heroes for the most part, Sumail and Fear.
5 seconds remaining.
For the most part in the beginning stages of the draft with the bans. There still is the Sumail Storm Spirit. There's still, I believe, a lot. I mean, Fear can play any hero. We talked about it last game. His carry pool is astronomically big. It's huge. This guy can play any. Listen, he was in free to play. All right. I don't think I need to speak, you know, I don't need to give Fear praise. Everyone knows what he can do. For
Sumail, and billions of heroes.
Yeah, exactly. For Sumail, I feel like I know this is a weird thing to say, but he still has to prove himself on a lot of different heroes. There's a way smaller hero pool for him, and it's, sometimes we do see him on like the Magnus. But when I've seen him on that hero, I haven't seen him play it particularly well. At least in Dota Pit, I know you spoke praises about his Magnus play before, but there are still heroes that I'm kind of interested in seeing how he plays as we progress through the game. So we'll see what Sumail grabs for himself or what PPD grabs for Sumail in this game. It won't be Storm Spirit, that's for goddamn sure, because guess what? Virtus.Pro have grabbed that for themselves.
They also banned out the Huskar. I wasn't even really paying attention to the bans, but they banned that out. And Evil Geniuses, surprisingly enough, ban out the Wyvern themselves. So let's see. They get the next pick and then ban. So the Evil Genius had first pick again, correct? Remaining. Or they had a first pick this game? Yeah, because they had Radiant last time.
Yes.
5
so
seconds
yeah, they may be suspecting that after they take the Naga Siren, then Virtus.Pro answer back with a Wyvern or something, so they ban it out. Anti-Mage or Anti-Mage coming out here in response to the Storm Spirit. Nothing wrong with that. A tried and true counter to the Storm Spirit because you lose so much mana. And then with the Mana Void, it just pretty much demolishes them if he doesn't have a Linken's or anything like that. So provided that Anti-Mage gets complete free farm, he can take over the game quite easily. They do have ways to control him, though. If the Storm Spirit has a good game and gets a fast Orchid before the Anti-Mage gets the Manta, which almost always happens. It's almost unheard of to get both the Battle Fury and the Manta before a Storm Spirit gets an Orchid, unless Storm Spirit just gets shut down so heavily. Yeah. That's just usually not the case. Although it seems to be, at least in this patch, most Storm Spirits just kind of like to rush the Bloodstone before the Orchid. But
this is one of those games that I think you need that Orchid, though.
I agree. I think if you have a good game on Storm Spirit, it's kind of a waste against an anti-mage to not get it early on. So we'll see. Storm Spirit also, I'm wondering if they go
Radiant team pick.
I'm wondering if they go him in the safe lane against Tusk. It's actually kind of good against Tusk because when Tusk snowballs in, you see it coming. You just can start throwing down remnants, and he just gets hit by him once he comes up from the snowball. So I'm curious to see how they lane this from Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. There's still a lot of options here. Razor mid is not, I mean, it's definitely something we see a lot of too, so there's a lot of things Virtus.Pro can do in this particular game, in this particular draft as well. I want to point out that we are playing on Lux this game. There is no one under a 100 ping in the server right now that I can see. And you have to imagine, I mean, Virtus.Pro, this is a CIS team, so playing on USCs is actually a lot more detrimental than a team like Secret playing on USCs. So they get their Lux game, and this game could be even more one-sided in favor of Virtus.Pro. However, the draft is not looking that way, especially if Fear can get farm of the anti-mage, which he does so very often. And they'll get off to a fast start, and suddenly Virtus.Pro have to deal with a giant anti-mage who, 30, 40 minutes into the game becomes a huge nuisance. For Virtus.Pro, their last pick is going to come through. They need an offlane hero more than likely. They could send DK Phobos onto the Earthshaker into the offlane. I doubt that'll be the case. He does have a pretty big hero pool in his own right. I'm curious as to what they're going to go for, though. There's a lot to pick here, and they do have a lot of time with a minute left on the reserve time still ready to go.
Well, it looks like Evil Geniuses ban out the Spirit Breaker, which is kind of a smart ban because I think they're maybe in the same boat. They're not 100% sure if ES is going to be support or offlane. Maybe they do know. Maybe I don't know, and they just know that the ES is for sure going to be support. I do know that I think FNG plays Earthshaker, and Rubik is played almost always by Lil.
Yes.
And they ban out the Spirit Breaker, which can go either way. You can run, same thing with Earthshaker. These are both very versatile heroes in the sense that they can go offlane or be run as a support. Virtus.Pro, they have a lot of time. We'll see what they go for. For Evil Geniuses, in terms of mid heroes, I'm thinking like a Puck or a Wind Ranger. Wind Ranger is actually probably pretty good against the Storm because when he rushes in, he's not going to get any procs with his overload because of the miss chance from the wind run. So I would think that Wind Ranger or like a Puck would be maybe pretty decent. But we'll see. 18 seconds here for Virtus.Pro.
I like a little bit of both of those here. I like the silence for a Puck just to make sure Storm Spirit can get brought down pretty quickly and he can't ball any away. And I like the Wind Ranger for exactly what you mentioned, not to mention Shackle Shot being just a really good ability in general. And of course, the Focus Fire with the right click getting an Aghanim Scepter. Virtus.Pro go for the Brewmaster. Offlane Brew, this is not unheard of, but it's not something we've seen recently. And you have to wonder aggro dual lane with like Brew, Earthshaker, and then like Rubik, Storm Spirit, or Rubik Razor safe lane is very interesting actually. And we don't even know this Brewmaster could still go mid. The Razor could go off lane into dual lane, the Storm Spirit can go into safe lane. So Virtus.Pro have left their lanes very open-ended, Tralf, I'd say.
I don't think you want to leave Storm solo up top, but maybe they do a dual lane with like Storm ES top, and then maybe, I don't know, Razor, Rubik bottom, and then Brew mid. It's just very strange. You never hardly ever see the Brewmaster anymore, especially in a kind of composition like this. So very interesting draft. And they actually do go with a Puck for Evil Geniuses, which is totally fine. It's one of Smel's more comfortable heroes. I think he likes that more than the Wind Ranger too. So nothing wrong with that. This is a very, I don't even want to say standard, but I think just well-rounded draft from Evil Geniuses. I don't think there's anything wrong on paper from Virtus.Pro. It's just something that's very different. And I'm very curious to see how they actually do lane this up because I think it's going to be very important.
I like the Virtus.Pro lineup because I think they have a lot of control with the Brewmaster when he's in his primal split. You cycle him up like the Dazzle or the Naga Siren. You throw your Boulder Toss at another hero. You have Razor for damage, the Storm Spirit for more control and damage as well. So I like Virtus.Pro's team fight later on down the road, especially if they get that Orca for Storm, especially if they get that Blink Dagger for DK Phobos at a reasonable time. That is going to be kind of the issue. If Sumail is able to roam around, provide control in his own right, get kills, help out, it's certainly going to be a lot harder. And of course, the Naga Tusk lane is still a nuisance to deal with, not to mention Fear on his anti-mage probably won't be threatened too much. I have to wait and see as Virtus.Pro do jump into the game, and Evil Geniuses will do the same. So on paper, or I guess not on paper, but who do you like better in terms of the draft right now?
I actually still prefer EG's lineup. I just think it has a really nice, well-rounded balance of like damage to lane presence to late game carry with anti-mage to falling back on the 4 position Naga to maybe get farm. I think that VP's lineup is more about if Storm has a good game, they can completely take over. But if Storm doesn't have a good game, then they're going to be really lackluster.
Yeah.
Because after tons of nerfs to Razor, he's just not the hero he once was, at least in my opinion. I feel like I see this hero sometimes flourish, but it's in the special lineup.
30 seconds
I guess an anti-mage, it's really hard to keep up with all the blinks that are such low cooldown late game. I think it's 5 seconds.
I
so
like
again,
them. Sorry, go ahead.
I just think this game really comes down to securing G farm. I think G needs to have a really good game for VP. Whereas I think EG, I think they can feed up a couple. They can maybe die a couple times and they'll still be fine. But I can't stress enough the importance of how well Storm Spirit has to have this game, or how well of a game Storm Spirit has to have.
I think G thrives in these situations. When I saw him come onto the scene, I mean, a couple years back even, and he played mid, he often was one of those players that played a really solid farming mid, and he snowballed from that position. Recently, he's played more of the Zeus kind of oriented heroes, but with this Storm Spirit, he has that potential to take over the game, much like Sumail does whenever he plays this particular hero. So it's no surprise they're going to give this to G. He goes for that early null talisman. Sumail will do the same. So no bottles anytime soon for either of these heroes. It comes down to how this laning phase is going to go. And by the way, this is a classic matchup between Storm Spirit as well as Puck. It's just something we see a lot of, but not recently. Sumail even goes for an early point in phase shift, which is, I wouldn't say unheard of, but I don't see it very often. That's, you usually see Illusory Orb or waiting Rift level 1, and seeing him go for phase shift means maybe he's afraid of that level 1 gank. Regardless, he's not going to have that extra damage until level 2, which he does have now.
It actually kind of sucks that he went for phase shift because he missed a couple CS there in the mid because of it. There was just some kind of weird creep rhythm with the tower, and he wasn't able to get all the creeps. Good denies here, actually just one deny here from G, but relatively even. So far, 3 and 1 for G, whereas it's 3 and 0 for Puck. As the creep wave is coming in the way from Storm. Anyway, top lane, how's this going? It's DK Phobos in the off lane. He's 2 and 0. He's
done a pretty good job.
He's messing with the pull. Yeah, this is one of the times when you know there's going to be a dual lane in their safe lane, you can get away with these heroes that otherwise wouldn't do well in the off lane. So maybe that's why they picked up the Panda. They knew it was going to be a dual lane in the short lane, and now bottom lane. We'll see what they can do here. How is Illidan farming? He's 5 and 5. What's the farm like for Tusk? It's 1 and 0. So they are doing well in this bottom lane. I will say VP are off to a good start.
I really like these lanes. DK Phobos alone, he's been using this Drunken Haze exclusively on Fear just to make sure he misses the last hits. And guess what? He has missed them. There is going to be a Fisher coming out into AY. Will not connect mid lane. Sumail's taking a lot of damage from the overload procs of G and the Remnant. So Sumail's not having a particularly great time, although he does have 6 last hits. It's still pretty close. DK Phobos going to take some damage. With a Stout Shield and him being a Brewmaster, it's not easy to get a kill with a PPD Dazzle as well as a Fear Anti-Mage, at least until a little bit later on down the road. But he's still doing a great job. He's pulling the creep wave. He's getting experience. He's already level 3, and he's harassing Anti-Mage enough for him to miss a couple of CS here and there.
He's actually doing really well in this top lane, and I love his skill build, at least in the start, like you mentioned, Drunken Brawler and Drunken Haze. It's very, very difficult for them to put damage onto him, and the thing is once he loses all his mana, or at least just uses it constantly, that means the mana break from the Anti-Mage doesn't really do anything, because he's not burning any more mana. So DK Phobos, it's almost like he wants to run out of mana, because it's actually harder to kill him. So, actually some aggression here coming out from Owie. He's actually made his way all the way up towards the top lane. He needs to wait and time this so that the creeps get up, and then maybe wait for DK Phobos to feel a little more confident and walk towards him, or walk upwards, but he's not falling for that bait, so DK Phobos is playing back a little bit.
And that means that the shenanigans they were doing bottom with the Tusk that they were doing last game, they're not happening this game. They're giving complete free farm just to Illidan Storm Rage on that Razor, which is fantastic, which also means they're going to be able to go for a kill here on Universe. They already use Telekinesis. It is only level 2 Static Link, which is doing a lot of damage and stealing a lot of damage, but it's just not enough to get that kill. Universe does have to salve up. He'll be at level 3. So this off lane, if you compare the off laners right now, DK Phobos is getting the better end of the trade. FNG is going to rotate. They're going to try to go for Sumail. He does have an Observer Ward there. There's absolutely no way he should get caught by this. He is actually doing very well. He's caught up in CS. He's now ahead of it, G, which is very interesting because as the lane progresses, I feel like perhaps the Storm Spirit should have a better time with more points at the Overload, more points at the Static, and that's not the case. Bottom lane, they're going to try to go here. Tusk, there's going to be the ensnare as well. Lil going to be caught out. Is this first blood? We'll wait and see. Statically comes in. Now whipping Universe into shape. He should be able to get through the trees. He's going to eat it through. There's the Fissure blocking him in. Universe last right click. It's going to be Lil on that Rubik getting the first blood. Beautiful rotation from MVG to get that kill. And he grabs a Haze Rune. He doesn't have the mana for another Fissure, but he will be able to harass AUI, who's very slow. Does pick up the boots. Illidan still has the 112 damage. There's the Fissure. They're going to get 2 kills out of this lane.
Oh, boy. Yeah, a little miscommunication right there because the snowball stun happened at the same exact time as the ensnare. So they basically used both of their disables. I don't know if it would have really mattered because of the nice... That was a really good rotation there from FNG, just being in the right place, right time. And then the damage sucking coming from Illidan was just... so much damage coming out onto the Tusk. So despite the lanes going, I'd say the lanes are going overall well for VP. The only problem is Illidan is actually farming a lot less in terms of CS than the Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage is at 31, Illidan's at 21, so actually has 10 full less CS than that hard rising Anti-Mage, which is a little bit of a concern. But
the net worth, if you look at the chart, it's still very even, and a lot of that has to do with the kills that came up with Virtus.Pro. So, you know, you lose something in the CS department, you gain some in the kill department, and that's all you can really ask for. G is going to get some more room to work with now as the creep wave is pulled back under his tower, and that means that he'll start eclipsing Sumail and CS for the time being. Sumail going for boots. I'm sure he has his bottle flying out. I'm sure he's crowing it.
This is what they're waiting. They're waiting for Puck to misstep. They're waiting for him to use an aggressive orb. And the second he does, they're going to stun out from FNG and rush in from G. And I'm wondering if Sumail... Does he have a... No, he has his ward over in the upper side on the left.
FNG has been missing, so... Sumail has to know. And he will use the Elusive Orb, but she's just too far away for a Fissure. That's a smart play.
He knows that something's up, so nice heads-up play from Sumail.
No smoke rotation. I thought EG were smoking up to go mid, but instead they're just going to rotate to the jungle, stack up some camps. They really want to get Fear going with this Battle Fury once he gets it. Which, by the way, he doesn't have treads yet. He does have his Gloves of Haste. He has the Ring of Health, so he'll be going for the treads Battle Fury route, which is very common for anti-mages now.
That's so annoying. Look at Fear. Yeah. He just missed like 5 attacks in a row. And he just missed 3 CS as a result of that. 3, which is very vital. It might not seem like a big deal, but in the laning phase, it's a really, really big deal, especially for an anti-mage that, like, every CS counts, because the faster you get a Battle Fury, the more you exponentially farm, so... it actually is a really, really nice setup here from DK Phobos. Yeah, and he's almost level 6 too.
Really he feels comfortable on the Brewmaster as well. It's not the first time I've seen him play this hero, so no shocker that he's doing really well in this hero, at least as of now. He's almost 6. Universe had to go back home. He's level 4. So the Tusk that had a fantastic game last game, not quite having that same game. And I was actually just looking at one of the MPs. It's an anti-mage for Fear, and it says you're all awful. Classic NA Dota.
Wait, where is that? Oh, I see.
Good stuff.
With proper grammar, though.
That's true. It usually doesn't happen in NA Dota. If I go into FPL, there's going to be somebody spelling something wrong when they're flaming somebody. Alright. 48 last hits for anti-mage. So he's still top of the CS, but he could have a lot more. We talked about the Drunken Haze at length, so... It's been something that's been really interesting. Universe rotated mid, maybe looking to help out Sumail. They know that FNG's nearby. He just threw up that Fissure. Sumail's Blink Dagger is getting kind of close, so that'll be a big item for him to pick up. And that looks like, I think G did some stacks in the jungle, I believe. This stack is cleared here, so I have to imagine that he was the one to do it.
All eyes on Owie. He's going for the triple stack right now.
His
illusions.
He's gonna get this one.
2, 3.
He might miss this one.
We'll see if he can get it.
This one he got. That one he didn't get, I don't think.
Alright, so he missed
this one he got.
That one is hard to get, though.
Yeah.
You have to do it at really the right time, and you have to actually do it in the right direction, too. I think up left is, like, usually the best way. Unless the trees are cut down on the right side, then you can just go straight to the right, but they weren't, so...
Okay, Phobos gonna get harassed by PPD. He's taking no damage. PPD is hitting with a wet noodle.
Are you even trying?
PPD is like, can I just do any damage? Fear is gonna jump on DK Phobos. His mana burn is leveled up to just level 1. He does have his mana void as well. The damage isn't that great at level 1, but enough mana missing, and you're gonna do a shit ton of damage to that Brewmaster. And he's getting scouted out by this defensive, rather aggressive Observer Ward from the Dire team. And they're actually gonna give these stacks to Sumail and Universe. I like this idea. They don't need to give it to the Anti-Mage. He's gonna get his own farm. get Sumail's Blink Dagger and go from there.
Yeah, I think this is the much better decision. It's more important that Puck gets your initiating hero gets their initiating item. Actually, those were stolen by Universe. That's a little weird.
They're splitting it up. They're splitting it up.
Middle tower is
I
under
get
attack.
Universe's next item, whatever it may be.
I don't know about that. I feel like Blink on Puck is going to be way better than anything that Tusk wants, at least.
3-man smoke with a Storm Spirit with regen behind. They're going to go in. Fisher will start first, but he blinks away. They don't get on top of him in time. They might kill PPD. They have the pull in for G. He does have Grave up ready to go. He's going to use it and just TP away. They have Fisher. They have Telekinesis. They can't get it off.
He got him in base.
The animation went. He got him in base, but it wasn't there in time. They lose nobody for that 3-man smoke, at least not yet. Fisher's not coming out from FNG, and Anti-Mage Fear will be, you know, he'll be kept in check for now, but he's still going to live. He's not dead.
Middle tower is under attack.
Oh, that's got a sting, man. He got him while he was in base. With I've seen stuns happen sometimes, but never a lift. That's kind of crazy. Sumail, he's going to walk towards the top rune. It's spawning in 5 seconds.
Give him a bounty run. He needs that Blink Dagger. Needs a new pair of shoes coming out for Sumail. Oh, they're going to grab it. Ooh, double damage picked up, and he jaunts away at the perfect time. G came in, but wasn't able to get the pull off. Fear and DK Phobos going toe-to-toe. Drunken Haze was already used. That has been so annoying for Fear this entire game. Another Drunken Haze, because guess what? You can't have enough Fear. Just force-feeding it to him, honestly, at this point. Fear's like, can you stop? Listen, I'm already drunk enough. I can't even hit creeps.
And he goes for the mana boots, which I think is totally fine for Brew, because he is going to get mana burned quite a bit this game, and he really relies in these fights to just have just enough for his primal split, so I think there's no problem with that. Sometimes you see Brews just rush the blink, but I definitely think this is an Arcane Boots game, so I like that from
He's taking more
Phobos.
damage from Mana Void, though. With, he's missing more mana.
Yeah,
Which, by
but
the way,
I mean, he's missing so many attacks, like he's probably only hitting like 1 and 4 onto the actual hero himself.
Yeah.
So it's only, most anti-mages never level up their mana break like past level 2, at least early on. The most I'll see anti-mages will go like level 2. Unless it's against like an axe, maybe you get 3. Oh,
he tried to get the split off, he couldn't get there. The Mana Void stuns him up, but he has enough mana to go through and get that split, and he's gonna use it defensively. Now aggressively, PPD's like, for the love of God, I just wanted to kill you. Can you get your pandas away from me? He'll Cyclone 1 just to make sure Fear can't farm. That's some salt in the wound right there. But it doesn't matter. He'll continue farming. They won't miss too much. Yes, split is forced out. DK Phobos does live, however, and that's the most important thing.
yeah, so very crazy game. Only 2 kills so far. Usually you see a lot more, but yeah, we'll see what Illidan's going for. It looks like an Aghanim Scepter for him, as he's been relatively quiet here. But he's actually caught up in CS, though. With all this action on the top left side of the map, and tons of Drunken Haze, tons of Veer, as you mentioned. He's caught up to 72 CS, whereas Fear's up to 78, so just close the gap just a little bit.
Ooh, Waning Rift onto G, silenced up. They have Dream Coil. Is he going to use it? And Phase Shift PPD will be the one to die, and they use the Dream Coil perhaps a bit too late.
Top tower is under
Sumail.
attack.
He just got enough mana to use it in that last couple of seconds, and PPD will die because of it.
Dire's bottom tower
Rotation in
is
from
under
Lil.
attack.
It looks like he's... What is he doing here exactly? They have Song. He's actually got Elusior. Penny jumps away. He's silenced. He does get out. The Elusior PPD, or rather Sumail, will not jaunt further. They won't be able to get the stop on the TP coming out from Lil, so that was a smart play. Although probably closer than it should have been. It was very sketchy.
That was really close. And that was the level 3 silence there from Puck. He actually puts 2 points into the phase shift. Kind of interesting there. So he doesn't have any maxed nukes just yet, but he does have a little bit longer duration on his phase shift. So.
I like that. What just happened?
Sumail just messaged me. He's not happy with the latency he has.
Well, I mean, I'm sure Virtus.Pro wasn't happy with the latency they had in game number 1, so. Blank from Lux.
I think this is kind of even, though, right? I'm gonna check it.
Everyone's like roughly 150 to 200, I'm pretty sure. This is actually the most even that we could probably get it in this situation.
It's hard because in console everyone has weird names.
Yeah, I couldn't really tell, but there are a couple that I noticed. Treads and Battle Fury at like 15 minutes probably coming out for the anti-mage, but meanwhile mid lane Sumail is going to get graved up as he was getting jumped on by G. Electric Vortex was used. He's maxing out next. This has been a very quiet game in terms of kills. Not much is happening. It's more of let me annoy you by pouring more beer in your face. And I guess we'll see a smoke up now from PPD and Sumail. They're going to head bottom. They'll find G first and foremost. They'll blink away. Blink is available, or rather, he'll ball lightning away. Sumail has blink if you wanted to jump in and Waning Rift, but now everyone is converging onto that bottom rune spot. Sumail's not going to get this, it looks like. And he actually jumps up onto the cliff. Oh, he's going to get jumped on. They knew he was there. The pull, telekinesis. Fisher, they get a kill. That's an unfortunate place to blink, and he didn't use his Elusive Orb fast enough.
I think it was almost that he used it too fast, and they heard the sound, so they knew exactly where he was. So FNG, really nice stun there coming out from him. He now has his Soul Ring, so he's going to have constant Fisher spam all throughout the game. Now he just needs his blink. So relatively good things happening here. Obviously for VP, it's 4-0. Very, it's actually not early on. It's just, it seems like it's early on because there's been hardly any kills.
Yeah.
But we'll see what Anti-Mage can do. Do they still have those stacks? They still have
he
several
took one of the stacks here. He had a stack that he just took here. This one is stacked up as well. They had AUI riptiding and tanking with his illusions. That's not going to be the case now. Fear is not taking much damage. He's got a 4-man shield. He's got shreds. He does have a perseverance to regen up with as well. His Battle Fury is done in 200 gold, and with that, he's going to have 15-minute Battle Fury. Probably goes for Vlad's next. I think this could be Vlad's game. I don't know if he goes for Meta. There's no Orchid just yet. I'm not sure if he needs to.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you definitely go for the Manta here, at least in my opinion, just because of. I mean, the Orchid inevitably is going to be up before the Manta, but you still need it up as fast as possible because it means that you can farm a lot more aggressively, and you don't have to constantly worry about the Orchid silence. Fear's Battle Fury is he finally has it now at 15.5 minutes. It is later than you want it to be in a free farming lane, and you do have to attribute that a little bit to the constant aggression coming up top. The smoke gank that failed, but it also pushed him back a little bit. The constant miss chances coming out from the Drunken Haze and Drunken Brawler.
Look at his gold. DK Phobos is going to have a blink dagger very soon. That's huge for an offlane Brewmaster.
And this is kind of the way you want to exploit the fact that you know that they're going to go dual lanes. When you know they're going to go dual lanes.
Snowball, Dream Coil, G in trouble. Warriors Punch not dead yet. He does go down coming in. Will be Fear getting the kill. Mana Void brings down Illidan. DK Phobos trying to get a split off. He will get it. Fear blinks up back to the high ground. PPD, Boulder Toss, Cyclone onto Universe. The Weave's still up on the Brewlings coming through. They might have to dive to get this kill. Looks like they won't get any of them. Brewmaster split still there for 3 more seconds. Will they jump back on top of this? Meanwhile, the backside Lil is going to Elusive Orb away. Fear did have a blink available, but wasn't going to go for that kill. Turns into a 2-0, and EG finally, they get something going. And this is without AUI, by the way, who is still farming top
Radiant's
lane.
middle tower is under attack.
Who might even get the Vlads for the Anti-Mage too.
Yes, yeah, good point.
We'll see. It was something. Nope, it actually is going to be a Vlad's here for the Anti-Mage. So you were correct. I was wrong.
It's a gift. It happens.
Very nice exchange there for EG, and I imagine that bumps them up. Yeah, look at the graft. The graft. I don't know why I put a T there. But it was upwards about 2,000, which not anything crazy, but it just all the way just nosedives bottom, and it's now in favor of EG.
That's cute. I think also, if they don't win that fight, if they don't kill the Storm Spirit, I think Fear does go for that Manta style, but because he knows he has a little bit more time, you can get away with the Vlads. He'll farm quickly. His Manta will come out, pretty soon after, but I think that's the case.
And you see right there with your team not up, the split just doesn't really feel very effective, right?
No.
I feel like this hero, I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. It seems amazing on paper. He had a fantastic laning phase, but he really needs his team up and fighting to go because it doesn't do too much damage. It's more about control and throwing out a stun, throwing someone up in the air. But you need damage on your side to actually make use of this split. And when you're constantly using it as, crap, I need to cast it before I die, instead of I want to, be the aggressive or the aggressor to jump onto you, it just seems underwhelming.
Yeah. So DK Phobos looks on in horror as his teammates die around him while he uses his split and tries to be as aggressive as possible. Fortunately, doesn't pan out the way he would like. Now EG rotate 4 heroes, 3 heroes down bottom. Sumail will rotate back to the split. AUI will take farm top lane split. They're going to go right in onto Storm. G is going to get snowballed up. They have War's Punch. They already used it, actually. G-Ball lightnings. Well, PPD, they'll get the kill. Mana Void comes down. FNG's Echo Split not there in time. Good enchant totem, but the last right click from Fear gets a double kill. You're being this aggressive with an anti-mage that doesn't even flash yet. Now Sumail comes in, gets the Dream Coil. Only other one. DK Phobos has his split ready to go. They jump into the tree line. They did steal that usage of the coil, but it doesn't do anything. Sumail, however, in trouble. Static Link. He'll try to jaunt out. Gets the kill on Lil with his illusory orb as he dies. At least gets the consolation prize coming, but it's a bit too aggressive. However, the most important thing is that Fear, while that's all happening, has a full Vlad's flying out, plus has 800 gold in the bank. Not bad.
And he gets his lifesteal, and he's taking out stacks too. The thing, they're trading evenly in terms of numbers, like 3 for 3. But Anti-Mage is getting all the kills, he's not dying, and their Storm Spirit has been stifled in farm. So he had a pretty decent time. He was pulling ahead in terms of CS against the puck and mid. So it was looking like it was going to be a relatively fast Orchid, you know, like 15-16 minutes, and now it's heavily delayed. We're looking at like a 22-minute, maybe even 23-minute Orchid, especially if he dies again. And that's just not going to cut it against an Anti-Mage, who has this much farm, who just hard counters the hero, by the way. I mean, they picked this right after the Storm for a reason.
This Anti-Mage is going to start going to work here. He's going to punch in his time card and pick up some extra pay.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Tower. He'll get some extra kills. Fear's even looking to just hide from FNG and Illidan. Oh, he walks out at maybe the wrong time, blinks away instead. He's going to keep going in these camps. His blink is up in 1 second. Lil looking for a jump in. They get the Fisher. Spell was stolen. Static Link's going to fly through, but he blinks out. And I mean, they have no way to lock him down with those two heroes already expending their abilities. Because guess what? G wasn't there with the pull, and DK Phobos was not ready for a split boulder toss, and even that seems kind of rough.
Yeah, I just don't know how. I don't even know how they kill him, because right now they don't have the damage until they get like a blink on the ES, which is not going to happen for a long time, or until they get the Orchid on Storm. But at this rate, it's going to happen. It's actually going to happen, I think, maybe even after he gets the Manta.
Yeah.
Look at Fury now; he has the Yasha.
He's almost got that second Oblivion staff, but the way Fury is farming, it's very hard for G to keep up. If they can get this tier 2 tower, that'll be a much-needed boon of gold coming in for Virtus.Pro, and they absolutely desperately need something. This tower could be huge. I don't know if EG give this away up for free. And AUI 2000, as he often does, just says, I'll take top lane and farm for about half an hour, and comes out of the jungle. Suddenly, he's got a freaking mech. His mech is done. They're going to fight now at the bottom lane. Walrus Punch comes in. G with the ball lighting, chasing further. They're going to get the Ice Sigil, but that's it. P lives barely. Shadow Wave comes through. Tier 1 tower is taken down by AUI. The glyph came through too late. It came through too late, but they were going to glyph up the tier 1 tower mid anyway, so it does actually end up working out. But they still lose 2 tier 1 towers. They don't get a kill bottom, and they have to get this 2-2 for it to be worth it. But here comes Sumail. Silence is in. Jaunts back home, and that'll be that. They can't even push into this tier 2 tower. Suddenly, evil geniuses take 2 towers across the map and a huge trade.
Oh, man. This is just not going the way of VP at all. Fury's getting everything. I can't believe they didn't even kill Universe, but they're a really fantastic play from Universe. He punched after he like went towards them in the snowball around the cliff. PPD, he used the grave on himself, so like they weren't exactly sure who they wanted to focus fire. And then they got the blink out quickly from Tusk, who does have that freshly purchased blink. So nobody died there from EG. It's just really going the way of them, and I imagine this graph is getting out of control. It's not actually out of control. It's 2500, but considering the composition, I would say it's getting out of control, just because I don't think they have an answer for this Anti-Mage.
Radiant's top
Game's gonna
tower
get 40
is
minutes or
under
30
attack.
minutes, and Fury's gonna get big, and then what do? Could even buy a BKB if you really wanted to, just to be even more safe. This is, it almost feels like a Hail Mary smoke from Virtus.Pro because they have to get something done with it. And Sumail, he's gonna be the one to get jumped on. Lil doesn't have a Blink Dagger, telekinesis. He's gonna use himself, but he already used that illusory orb. Phase shift is gonna come out. Can he blink away? No way. His blink was on cooldown for 3 seconds. At least they get a kill there. This is gonna leave more room for Fear. Now the TP is coming in from Illidan. He won't be able to do much about stopping the anti-mages. We've talked about it ad nauseum. There's the Orchid for G. What is the anti-mage's status like on the Manta style? He has the recipe, but he doesn't have the ultimate orb. So G finally has the Orchid, but he's getting close to the battle, or rather for the Manta style. They're gonna jump in, pull, ready to go. Now the Blink telekinesis Fear. This could be a huge kill. Can he blink away? He's actually so taken, they can't even go on him. Lil has to steal the blink of his own. G was looking to jump in a little bit further. Here comes Universe. Lawrence punch, ice shards, snowball comes in. Echo slam misses from F and G. Oh, he used it right as Universe got into snowball form. Orchid comes up, but it's a bit too late. AUI can't find a target for his ensnare. It's on cooldown. He's got Song, will he use it? FNG, Ice Charge, Mana Void, not needed. PPD gets the kill. It's all going awry for Virtus.Pro at this point in the game.
If they had that Orchid just a little bit earlier there for the Storm, they actually easily get the kill on the Anti-Mage, but they just didn't have enough lockdown or long enough lockdown, I should say, before he was able to skirt on out of there. But yeah, definite kill if they did have the Orchid. It was flying out to him in the process. After this, they're going to have Aegis on the anti-mage. He's going to have enough for his Manta style. I mean, what more can I say? I would say that overall VP's lineup, they have pretty damn good farm on like evenly spaced out. But again, the problem is I just don't know. And actually, a song comes out.
Oh, what a song from AUI. They can set this room coil up. Sumel's getting ready for it. Are they going to go? Waiting Rift gets off. They get it out of the Brewmaster. Lil and frickin' Illigan get destroyed. They're obliterated. G comes to the backside. Does get PPD in the end. I think that might have been the Brewmaster. FNG looking to jump back in here is blocked completely. He's got the Blink Dagger. Blinks away instead of blinking further in. AUI 2000 still has that Mechanism Universe and Fear now on the hunt. They're going to clear up this air Brewling. Sumel comes through. He's got his blink in 11 seconds. Boulder Toss comes in. The Brewmaster, does he have his Blink Dagger? He does. He'll get away for now, but they're still chasing. Ensnare. Yule's up in the air. Some miscommunication. Fear's still going to work. He's got his Mana Void. No, he doesn't actually. The Snowball comes out. Ice Shard. Flawless Punch brings him down. Fear gets the Unstoppable spree. And now they're going to take a tier 2 tower on top of it. No, actually they can't. Creep Wave not there. Instead, they'll have to go back and farm up their own devices. Still another fantastic fight coming up for Evil Geniuses. All started out by AUI's perfect song.
Yep, really nice song. And he has the medallion too. He didn't go for the Greaves, which I thought he was going to go for. And I think he's going to go for the Solar Crest, which is going to make sieging a lot easier. Especially with an anti-mage just hitting the tower. Going to have the extra armor, 10 armor, 30% evasion. You might not even have to go for an early butterfly. You can go for something like, okay, now he's got Vlad's, Manta. I think you just go for Heart now, and then probably Abyssal after that.
Yeah.
I think if you go Heart, you are completely unkillable. I don't know how they kill you at all.
I don't know. He could go for BKB if he wanted to, but Heart just makes it even harder. Telekinesis comes out, Attic Link, and so much of that he doesn't steal any damage.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And he'll steal the Ancient stack. That's nice to think. You might be able to get the Ancients twice. The Illusions are going to block it.
Yep, and I talked about how, like, Anti-Mage is a pretty damn good hard counter to the Storm, but I think it's also... Oh, gee.
He has no mana.
Oh, he saw him for a second
there. He had
there.
no mana. Yule's up on FNG. He's got Echo, but it's just great timing from the Waiting Rift from Sumel.
That's for your
The score is only 9-9, Trell. It doesn't feel like it's 9-9. Feels a lot worse.
It feels like it's 19-9 or 29-9.
Yeah,
Anti-Mage now has 7k net worth. Okay, over about 6k net worth over the highest on VP, which is a Razor, who again is not a hero that can deal with the Anti-Mage either. Once you like, your most important spell on Razor is the blink, and you can never get a good link off on the Anti-Mage because he can just blink away and nullify it completely. The best thing you can do with Razor in this comp is to push early with an early Axe, but they just weren't able to do enough.
Yeah, he did get the Axe early, but Tactically's going to come out Mana Void. Fear did lose a lot of damage. Great Fisher, but he's going to walk in for the Echo Slam. He can't even get it off. The Eels comes out from Sumel. G trying to push Fear back with a slow. FNG still can't get the Echo off, and he's dead. He didn't have the mana for it either. They bring him down. If he had a Blink Dagger, that would have been an amazing Echo Slam.
Middle tower is under attack.
How unfortunate. And EG look like they're going to take this series 2-0 at least. And it is a best of 5, so Virtus.Pro might be with their backs against the wall here momentarily. They're not done yet, but you've talked so much about how this is such a bad composition for Virtus.Pro against this particular hero, against this anti-mage. Let alone to talk about how good everyone on AG is doing besides Fear. So this is it's a goddamn disaster to say the least.
And I was gonna think maybe what if they put the Storm safe lane and just kind of helped guarantee him farm, but he honestly didn't do badly in mid at all. In fact, I think he did better in mid than the Puck. Granted, he did have a little bit of help, but so did Puck at the same time. I just think that it was relatively even. He did okay though, and I don't think that the lanes were a reason why they're losing this. They're not getting the amount of farm on Storm that they need. I think it's more of decision making and EG's nice rotations and being able to skirt on out of fights, like with making VP use a lot of spells. There's been so many engagements, especially early on, where like, you know, the top lane where they smoked up. They barely got the kill on so-and-so, but they couldn't quite get it. They lift the Dazzle, but he was already in base, you know? Just all these little things added up to make it so that the anti-mage got enough space to farm. And like I said, it wasn't even the earliest Battle Fury. Like, 15.5 minutes is good, but it's not great.
I think if they put another hero with that Brewmaster, maybe they put more pressure on him? And I don't know.
It's hard. Like you'd have to commit the full Naga Siren up there all the time, but then that means one, Naga is splitting experience with 3 heroes, and you don't want to take that away from Anti-Mage or the Dazzle. It also means two, Tuska's lane is completely shut down and doesn't really do anything on the Dire off lane. So I think you had to deal with the fact that DK Phobos was going to get good farm and was going to be very annoying.
I mean, putting somebody with DK Phobos as FNG is gonna die. I mean, like having 2 heroes up there instead of just DK Phobos.
Oh, you meant 2 heroes up top?
Yes.
Maybe. I think it would have had to have been the Rubik
God.
as the Bash comes out. Yeah, that's a Basher now for Anti-Mage, so
yeah.
Not going for the heart just yet, but
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
it's hard to say because the Panda really thrives off of solo experience, at least in that kind of lane setup. Here comes double TP up top.
They're gonna try to fight this.
I don't know if they're gonna get much out of this though.
TPD is gonna be the target. G, long range jumping, but great song. AUI
So much mana.
Yeah, G has no mana now, and Fear's gonna walk right in. Mana Boy could actually just start this off. He is gonna jaunt away, or rather jump away with ball lane. Illidan will not be so lucky. Walrus Punch, Guardian Greaves comes out as well for EG and Illidan. One more right click, they'll grab the kill. They will use the split on the other side. Fear grabs the kill. He went the distance to get that kill on G, and that'll provide him his godlike spree. The universe will get telekinesis dropped up and down real quick. TPD cycle it up. FNG's just like, I want to get something off. Echo Slam doesn't hit. He'll go down again. A double kill for Fear, and this is probably a game-ending fight at this point. As Virtus.Pro will lose Lil. The only hero that will survive for the time being is DK Phobos, and he might not even live. And Snare is up in 9 seconds. The Yules will come out, and I think DK Phobos is dead. And the weave's still on him. Fear, good drunken brawler procs, drunken haze as well. He mantis it off. And Sumail will grab the kill with his illusory orb. This will be a tier 2 tower, tier 3 tower racks, and probably game.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
5 for nothing exchange. And now Fear has double the net worth of the leading net worth farmer on VP, which is the Razor. But yeah, I think this game is sorry to say, but I think this game is over.
Radiant's top tower is under it. Radiant's top
There's
tower
not much they
has
can
fallen.
do. They'll spam out Fisher to stop this push coming in from Evil Geniuses. Fear doesn't have an Aegis, but I don't think he needs one at this point. I think he's a full Missile Blade flying out. He does. They also have a Mystic Staff coming up from Sumail, which I imagine is going to be a Hex. Actually, he's going right for the Octarine Core. G in trouble. He's silenced up. Snowball's going to come through. Can they get the Walrus Punch off? They will. He's not dead yet. Ball ending away. He'll make it out. Fear wants to go deep for this. He wants the Mana Boy to get the kill. He's going to find it. He is going to get the kill. He mantas to make sure he gets the wall off of him. Fear is still going to work. Spell was still not enough. Fear gets the double kill. Lil is just food at this point for the Anti-Mage. On the other side, Illidan getting chased down. Walrus Punch, he's silenced up as well. The damage coming through Sumail just goes to work. They even have, it looks like a Desolator on somebody, but I don't think that's the case. And they're going to grab that tier 3 tower and another set of racks, and it's just too much now, man. It's just too much.
Radiant's middle
His
tower
Anti-Mage
has
is almost
fallen.
full 6-slotted at 31 minutes.
Middle barracks
Pretty
are under
insane.
attack.
I mean, when your Storm Spirit's getting dove
Radiant's middle
in the well by an
barracks
Anti-Mage
has
at 30 minutes, I think you need to call
Radiant's
this.
middle barracks has
That they're going to
fallen.
take all... They really like to fight to the bitter end, don't they? As they're
Yeah.
going to take Mega Creeps now, and
See if they
no
got
sign of stopping here from EG.
Radiant's bottom tower
FNG
is
in
under
trouble.
attack.
Oh my god. The story of the Earthshaker.
Radiant's bottom tower
This game in
has fallen.
particular, FNG has not had a great time. Rax will get
Radiant's
it
bottom
absolutely
barracks are up.
throttled.
Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
And Mega Creeps, that's it.
Radiant's bottom
Evil
barracks
Geniuses, they
has
don't really
fallen.
need to do too much else. There's a lot of lines being drawn on the map for Virtus.Pro. They're really just going over the game as of right now. I'm almost positive. They just want to make sure that they get as much as out of this game as they possibly can before what I imagine would be a GG call, or they might just fight out to the bitter end, as you mentioned. Who knows? An Ag stun for Weaver.
Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
GG. That's it. That's how you know. Great game.
I wonder what was going through the minds of like when to call it. Like, all right, our Rubik died, guys. Let's call it.
Victory.
I don't know, man. There are a few games that are harder than that one for Virtus.Pro. Honestly, that was not an even game. First 2 games, in fact, were pretty disastrous for Virtus.Pro. And Evil Geniuses get off to a fast start, 2-0 already here in this series in Dota Pit. One more win and they're in the grand finals. They're in a lot of money, and for Virtus.Pro, they don't want to move down to that lower bracket without a fight, and we'll see if they can come back in game number 3. Tralf, anything to add before we head out of here into game number 3?
I got nothing, man. I got nothing.
All right, well, that being said, make sure you guys follow us on Twitter, at MottDota for myself, at MottPax for MottPax our Statsman, at PitMuckle for the Observer and Production Master, at TralfDota, of course, for Tralf. and at Dota Pit for more information on the tournament. Game number 3 coming up shortly. Will it be a 3-0 sweep coming out for EG, or will VP be able to get back into the series? We have to wait and see. Stick around, guys. We'll be right back.